Ok. Entonces. In here, pues ese the pre-listening is a sort of game, for introduce the vocabulary. In a very relaxed way because it's a game. Luego, in the while listening, entonces, pues aquí está, to develop listening skill for listening specific information. First, read and listen and answer. This is very important. When we ask students to answer a listen exercise, train them to read first all the questions, because normally what they do is that at the same time they are listening, they are reading, and the brain is not able to do both things at the same time, or they are focused on what they are reading and trying to understand, or they are listening to the audio and concentrated and focused on what they have to solve. So normally, if you do like this, you won't need to repeat several times the audio. The recommended number of times is at least 3. The first one, they answer most of the questions. The second time, they check the ones that they have solved, and they complete the ones which are missing. And the third time is just for checking. Entonces, you give them this kind of discipline when they are solving a listening exercise. Okay, so in here, pues ya is the hard work with the development of the sub-skill. In here, the steps and the possible problems. I decided to have a post-listening and a production. Obviously, in here, the listening is obviously related to the topic. If we are talking about going on vacations, pues, no sé, it can be places, items, activities, etc. related to vacations. Okay? We continue. And we continue practicing the grammar. Okay? Recycling and recycling and recycling. Although the grammatical structure is not included here, try to use it orally. Okay? That I think that all your listenings in a module, in a lesson, you saw that we have the pre, the while, and the production. So everything is linked. You have that division in a geo, for example. In English Aware, what you have is the divisions are even more obvious. No, you have the grammar, you have the vocabulary, the reading, the listening, and the production. In here, for example, for the post-listening is going to be, the hard production. Maybe in this case, the production is going to be free or semi-controlled, depending on the level and the difficulty of the exercises. And I'm going to start, ahora sí, assessing. Can be formal or informal, depending on the aim. So in here, to obtain specific information, written and oral. To develop, I think it's a dialogue. Develop speaking sub-skills, intonation, pronunciation, and accuracy. Okay? All right. Then, and use inaccuracy, I'm going to check the use of possessives because it's the structure I have been working with, okay? Fluency and interaction. Entonces I have 1, 2, fluency, interaction, 4 items, okay? Then practice form of WH questions to ask and get information from the others, okay? Then the material, pues I don't know, I think that is the students and the notebook, the work or the interaction patterns are in small teams, and the teacher will monitor and start making notes. In this case, the first part of the evaluation is informal. I can use this, my aim, as a rubric, or the numbers, depending if I want to give them 1, 2, and 3, not capable, in process, and capable, maybe, no? Depending on the criteria I want to use, which is easier for me to manage. And here the possible problems and solutions. Remember that the informal evaluation can be transformed informal. That's why it's up to you. You can write like that because possibly you can take into account the result in here as part of the formal evaluation. What happens, for example, if you have your students, you have, let's say, ideally you have 10 students, and 3 of them are capable, 4 are in process, and the other 3 are still struggling, and you thought about taking into account this evaluation as formal. What you do? Pues maybe to avoid like failing or I don't know, as part of giving them the opportunity, and you analyze the reasons. Maybe they need more practice, or they don't feel self-confident. I don't know, many things can happen. Entonces you decide, you have that flexibility as a teacher, and you say, okay, today I'm just going to evaluate from number 1 to 7, 8, 9, and 10. Next week, I'm going to plan another activity quite similar, and I will see how well they do next time. Obviously, I'm going to give them practice from the very beginning. So for me, that's the important and the rich part of informal assessment. I can see what they need, and I prepare activities that help them to achieve these goals, to develop these soft skills. Esto, no, pues no lo hizo, pues qué pena. Now, what can I do? Last night I was telling your partners that we need to evaluate always in positive. We need to focus on what they can do, not in the things they cannot do. So about the pronunciation, for example, if they say, no sé, information, the information, but the rest of the paragraph is they pronounce it properly, pues I'm not going to decide the grade of the evaluation, the result of the evaluation based on 1 or 2 mistakes. Yeah, if it is all the paragraph, but see, obviously something is wrong, no? And we need to work on something. But if it is 1, 2, they are splits or things like that, pues it's better to focus on what they could do, and on that, surely, although this activity is difficult for them, surely there would be something that can help them to get a number, to get a grade. And also, pues, it's a good opportunity for them to realize about the things they need to work. The end of the class, what they do, normally, pues, I suggest you to close the class with something very enthusiastic, something that makes the class memorable. I don't know, probably in here, pues a game, and they are laughing, they are feeling relaxed, they are feeling pues satisfied, and that is the sensation they will have and the sensation they will remember. So in that case, we are working on motivation. Is different if I tell them, no, pues la próxima clase, chicos, el examen, y el que no estudie lo voy a reprobar, ¿no? Pues they live worried, they live stressed. But if I finish like this, they are going to remember their class and they will feel motivated. In here, what kind of evaluation I'm going to use? In this case, pues I decided that it would be formal and informal. And, bueno, the formative, you know, that is based on rubrics. So in here, I have the indicators. I have them, the equivalent in number. And summative, pues maybe, no sé, take into account speaking activity. The feedback or the reflection, because in here we also mentioned as an instrument for evaluation, a diary. We can keep a diary. And one teacher asked me, per student? No, per group. If you consider that it's important to write something or to make notes about a specific student because something extraordinary happened, and I don't know, either positive or negative, pues it's like a backup, no? It's a reference you have for the future. But if we make this kind of notes, we are, yes, the feedback, but it's a sort of and we are not evaluating the teacher nor the students. We are evaluating the processes, the structure of the lesson plan, and on this realistic reflection, I know exactly what I need to do the following class, probably what I need to bring, what I need to prepare, or what I need to improve as a teacher as well, or what are the improvements, no? That would be fantastic to have. Because I have noticed that my students are doing better in listening activities, specifically listening for gist. They seem more relaxed and receptive when they are listening to new audios, ¿no? Entonces, in here, students need more practice, include listening exercise next class by following the steps. First, read, listen and answer. 2, listen and complete. And the 3rd, listen and check, ¿no? The steps that I was telling you about. And notes, no sé, no sé, por ejemplo, no sé, projector is not working. Entonces, I know that probably I will need to consider this as a possible problem and figure out how I'm going to do the next class, do project. Entonces, basically, that is more or less how you are going to present your lesson plan. Just the class profile, the assumptions, the length of the class, timetable fit, the main name, the method. Remember the method based on my main name, what I want them to do, what they are going to develop. Every single stage with the time, the aim, what is the context, the material, in one sentence, o sea, no como en el teachers que te decían, no, pues describe step by step, no, in one sentence. And the possible problems. Luego, the evaluation, if it's going to be formative, summative, the feedback, the notes. I don't know if you would like me to give you the format or even try to spot in your own format how you can do this, pero very, very simply. O sea, that's why I was asking you at the beginning of the module for your own lesson plan and spot if all the elements we have in the theory of the exam are included in your own lesson plan. Because maybe for the experience or the background you have, maybe you know them. But because of the formats and so on, we omit them, and what we don't use, pues we tend to forget it, ¿no? Entonces, pues that's why it was so reflective this time. Entonces, pues I don't know if you have any questions about the concept. In general, in here we have all the concepts, no? And remember, these aims, if I add these, I got as a result this one. So I have my big result and I cut it in several pieces. So I give them piece by piece, and at the end, they have the whole puzzle done. Questions?
Not sure.
No? Sí, ya un poco más claro? Okay.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Anyway, remember that we are going to practice again. Don't worry yet. Yes, of course. Don't worry, because we are going to analyze on Tuesday with more. We are going to, let's do one with another method and another book. A different book you have never used. I'm going to choose the book. Or do you prefer to use one of your books? We try to spot something different. Okay, try to avoid PPP and the typical ones, no? And let's try to find out the processes and the steps you need to follow to prepare your class. It's really important and related to this. What are the skills? For example, when you have your book, remember that you have this book in classroom. Vamos a ver, donde se detenga. Bueno, aquí vamos a escribir un nombre. Me gusta el 40. No me deja. Pero bueno, a ver. Aquí. For example, analyze the kind of exercises because they seem grammar exercises. In the end, they work on specific abilities. Example, in here, I have write questions with do and does, because in here, they were working with making questions by using present simple do. Entonces, they are going to practice. Okay? Entonces, in here, they have the statement, they have this question, and they have the formation of the question. For me, this exercise, the 7.1, is a little bit difficult. If I were the teacher, I would use, yes, this exercise, but not as the first one. Maybe I would do, fíjense, I have this, organizing unscramble the words, and I have complete the dialogue, and then short answers. Maybe I would decide to start from the number 4, because it's recognition, read the question, and practice in a very, very controlled way, the short answers. So for me, this will be the number 1. Then, yeah, that they have practiced, they have read, they have seen how the question is done and how I'm going to form the short answers. What I would do is to go to the number 2, which is collocation. I have all my pieces. So I need to organize in my brain, and after observing how the correct question is made, for me it's going to be easier to unscramble the question. In here is recognition. In here is collocation. Entonces, in here is still controlled, but although it's controlled, yeah, I start using the grammatical items or the pieces of the sentences. After making this, maybe I would go with this one, because I can check these examples. I can use this as a guide, and also these ones. And the last one, because I believe that is the most difficult, is the number 1. Because based after having these and these and this as practice, they can easily have an affirmative sentence, and based on this, write the correct question. Entonces, that is what I invite you to do with your exercises. And I'm fulfilling the whole page. I mean, I'm using the book. The only thing is that I am adapting the activities according to the characteristics of my book. So that's why it's very important for us to analyze and check in advance what is the aim of each exercise, and spot the level of difficulty in each exercise. No? Surely there is a purpose, no, of having this order. But for me, in this case, así humildemente, I would believe that it's best to start from here. Luego here is the recognition, collocation. Yeah, start practicing after having this and this. Start making questions with some hints Look, the hints they have here, even the answers, are more than in this case. O sea, the mental process is more complex. But in the end, they are doing everything. Okay, entonces, follow that sequence or spot those levels of difficulties in your practice. Okay, and maybe I can leave or I can give them this as homework. So they relax their brain, they do other things, and ahora sí, as an assessment, let's see how well you make questions. You have the answer and you have to write the proper question. Okay, so in here I'm going to confirm all. I know, teacher, la tarea estuvo bien difícil. A ver, why? No, es que quién sabe qué. And they provide you the feedback and they give you like the guide. So this is my recommendation. And always, always, always check. Check the exercises, spot the difference, spot the specific aim. And in the same way we listen for gist, for general idea, for mood or whatever, or we read for detail, for gist, and etc. The grammatical structures also have, or the grammatical exercises have a specific skill. Okay. All right. Further questions? No further questions? Entonces, I think that on Monday, probably your questions will arise. I don't know how many are we. Somos 10, ok. Miss Luceli ya llegó. Hola, Miss Luceli. The rest, do you have any questions?
No.
Right now, no.
Okay, excellent. Entonces, a ver, let's check. For homework, you needed to answer which one, which?
It was 10, 11, and 12.
Okay. How do you feel the mock?
For me, it's a little, well, I will say a little, but it's more than just a little complicated because this is like new information to me. So I'm still, you know, like studying the information, processing, and trying to remember at the moment that I'm trying to answer.
Okay, okay.
Because these are new terms that I didn't know. This is very new for me.
Like Miss Luceli. Miss Luceli, and I have another teacher that was in the morning, but now is in the afternoon. That she's not she didn't study for being a teacher. Because of her management of the language, she's allowed to teach the language.
This teacher, me too. I'm an industrial engineer, but I had like an English course, and then I had maybe, well, no, I actually had the skills to be a teacher when I became one. Like when I finished my courses, and then I applied for a job, I got the job, and I'm still working in other places, but I think that I had to have this type of course, but now I'm glad that I'm taking it because I'm learning what I had supposed to.
Okay.
Teacher, and
yes,
in my case, well, I was born in Chicago. I studied
a teacher's course in Canada, but I'm a computer systems engineer. So I was hired just because of my English knowledge. And the other thing is that we do not use a lesson plan. So all of these terms are very new for me, and I need to keep remembering all of them. So it's kind of difficult because I'm not really familiar with the terms.
Okay. All right. All right. Yes, mainly yes, that's the problem. And that is the purpose of the TKT modules, to certify what you probably know and what you have been doing, and give you the opportunity to get a paper, no, to back up your experience. It's like Ceneval, no, in Mexico. There is an acuerdo, el 680 y no sé qué, that allows you to get a degree by laboral experience or working experience, based on your career, because you have the knowledge, you have the experience, and sometimes the experience is much better than the knowledge, because the students from the university, they have the theory, but they don't know how to use it. Okay, so let's do something. Let's check. And I'm going to give you a break, and we prepare the paper and we start working with the mock. Okay, and specific informations, specific questions, we start trying to solve them. Okay, entonces it was 10 and 11, right? Entonces this is about using a dictionary. It says, for questions 41 to 47, match dictionary tasks that a teacher gave her students with their main purposes listed A to H. Mark the correct letter A to H on your answer sheet. There is one extra option which you don't need to use, okay? Entonces, to help students consider the meaning of words very closely. To help students understand how dictionary identifies parts of a speech. To help students notice how a dictionary shows stronger syllables in a word. To help students search for idioms successfully. To help students notice compound words. To help students understand how a dictionary shows verb patterns. To help students check for correct vowel sounds. To help students focus on register, okay? Entonces, a ver, question 41. The teacher gave students feedback on their homework, referring them to the dictionary to correct their examples, such as, he worked very hardly. She sang beautiful. He worked very hardly. She sang beautiful.
I answered B.
B, exactly. Help students understand how dictionary identifies part of a speech. When you open your dictionary, it shows if it is an adjective, if it is I know this is thesaurus. If it is for example, no sé, exam. Exam. They have the part of the speech, and they tell you how this part of the speech is used. Okay, so that's why you can use the dictionary to correct mistakes. Okay, so it's letter B. The teacher asked the students to look up some expressions for a transcript to find about formality. You're joking. The teacher asked the students to look up for some expressions from a script, tape script, or a transcript.
D.
Letter D.
D
Help
for
the
Daniel.
students. D for Daniel. To help the students search for idioms successfully. Excelente. Excelente. Ahora, teacher asked the students to underline the keywords in different phrases. No, you are pulling my leg. She's the apple of her father's eye. Before finding them in the dictionary.
Could be letter F. F for fish, no?
40, ¿qué es? 43, H.
F, D. D.
Digo, sorry, what did you say?
I said F. F for fish.
No, it's letter H. Help the students to focus on register. Because look.
Okay.
The teacher asked the students to underline the keywords in different phrases. No, you are pulling my leg. She's the apple of her grandfather's eye before finding them in the dictionary. And here is the register. What is the register of these kind of expressions? What is register? Or what register refers to?
If it's formal or informal.
Exactly. If it is formal or informal. So, this kind of...
Sorry.
Yes.
I was wondering if it's letter D, which says to help students search for idioms successfully.
A ver, 42, 43. Pues I have letter H, pero vamos a revisar. 43. Yes, you're right. It's letter D, sorry. Excelente. Entonces yo me equivoqué al copiar. Excelente. Es BH. Sí la volteé. BHD. Luego FG. Ok, sí, you're right. Sorry. Entonces, 42 is letter H. That is, help students to focus on register. Pues sí, some expressions. Finding about the formality. Yes. Sorry. And then the idioms. Yes, you're right. Excellent. Fantastic. The teacher asked students to complete a gut feeling. I tried do sport last year, but I didn't like it before checking in a dictionary. The teacher asked students to complete a gut feeling. Example, I tried last year, but I didn't like it before checking in the dictionary.
F.
To help the students understand how dictionaries show verb patterns. You have tried, and the following is to do. Or try doing, no? Can be ing or to do. Entonces, I have tried, I tried to, I tried getting. In here, they explain this by giving them examples, okay? ing verb. Okay, excellent. It's letter F. Ahora, the teacher asked the students to focus on pronunciation problems after a speaking activity. Example, field, river, beach, by asking them to look for the words up.
Letter G.
Exactly, to help students check for correct vowel sound. The teacher asks students to complete a grid of words families: photograph, photographer, photographic. Students then looked up the words to mark the word stress.
Letter A.
A. Oh, sorry.
No.
E.
Fíjense. Ay, si no es A, es I, si no es G, es stage, ¿verdad?
No,
A ver.
sí.
Okay, and here we are talking about the word stress. Ajá. Entonces, in here it says, ay, había una del sound, ajá, to help students notice how the dictionary shows stronger syllables in a word. Because I'm talking about the stress. In here in the dictionary, let's try with adolescence. They need to know that the dictionary shows where the syllable is stressed, no? Sometimes by an apostrophe, sometimes circles, or sometimes squares, okay? Excellent. Easy or difficult? If we realize here, bueno, most of the keys for finding the answers are included in the questions, okay? And 11, again, match the dictionary extracts with explanation listed A to G. Okay, so we have common collocational words are given. Common collocational words are given. This word must be followed by an object. The head word is classified in the same entry under different parts of speech. All meanings are given. A common error is included, only used in formal written language. This word cannot be used in the plural. And you have yet birth, yet la, yet, promote, build, and use. And you have the part of the speech and the meaning. Okay, entonces, let's see. Yet verb. According to the answer, key is letter B. What do you think?
I wrote B.
Which one?
Yeah, B. I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. This word must be followed by an object. Yet. What is the meaning of the verb yet? Vamos a buscarlo. It's noun. The first one is noun. Noun. A ver, teacher, can you help us with the meaning of the verb yet? It's like impulse. Jet. Sí, no. Jet verb. Aircraft. The jet crashed. The jet was. Thin stream. A small hole. Fast plane. Stream. Jet. Fluid. Ajá, dice. When the vertical fluid, then the vertical fluid movement is most accelerated rear axis, generating a vertical jet. Fluid. No,
The meaning I found is just by travel by jet aircraft.
but
as
in
verb.
here, the use that they are giving us is as verb and is transitive. Transitive means that affects the object. For example, you clean the house. Clean is transitive because you are affecting the house or you are
Yes.
doing something on the object.
Yes.
And intransitive is, for example, walk. You do the action, but there's no reaction or you are not affecting the object. There is no an object. This walk is intransitive. I guess that this is why you have the T of transitive. Entonces, that's why you have this word must be followed by an object because the verb is transitive. Remember, transitive. No fueron un, bueno, aquí. Transitive. Transitive when the verb affects or is, ¿cómo lo podría yo decir? No affects, pero influences on an object. For example, clean the house. Cook dinner. What do you cook? Pues the dinner. What you wash? Pues your hands. And intransitive when there is no object. For example, walk, speak, write a letter is transitive. No sé, ¿qué otra cosa sería? Fly. Those are intransitives. Say, exactly. Ese es un clear example. Say and tell. Tell me, transitive. Say, intransitive. Exactly, Miss Lucely, muy bien. Entonces, observe that this little detail is giving us the clue, okay? So it's very important to observe. Entonces, yes, is letter B. This word must be followed by an object because it's transitive, okay? Ahora, jet lag, noun, you. ¿Qué será you? The feeling of being tired because you have traveled on a plane across parts of the world when the time is different. According to the answer key is 49 is A. Common collocational words are given. This is an idiom. And this is collocation. Yes. This you. A ver, vamos a buscar jet lag. Noun. This noun. This you refers, that is noun. Sustantivo incontenible singular o sustantivo que no tiene plural. Ok. Excellent. 49G. This word can be used in the plural. No, porque fíjate, Miss, aquí en el diccionario dice que la U significa sustantivo incontenible o singular, un sustantivo que no tiene forma plural.
I had G teacher, but
G,
Uh,
G, 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 G.
I didn't understand you honestly, but I wrote G.
You don't understand me?
No. You, the letter U, not you.
Ah,
The letter U. Sorry.
dije, "Ay, qué
No.
feo". The letter
Sorry.
U, es que aquí, por ejemplo, es lo que les decía. Aquí está you, ¿qué significa? Vamos a buscar let Jack en el diccionario. Aquí está el diccionario. Ajá. Fíjense muy bien, cómo es importante también el uso del diccionario. Es una ciencia. Ajá. Por ejemplo, aquí tiene noun y tiene una you. Aquí dice noun y tiene una you.
Uncountable.
Ajá, le doy clic aquí y me da las etiquetas y los códigos. Entonces yo le scrolleo y me voy a la U. Y la U significa sustantivo incontenible o singular. Ajá, como dice la Miss, un sustantivo que no tiene forma plural. Entonces, that's why, yes, you're right, is letter G.
My logic.
Es que vean, no, espérame, es que aquí mi G parece A. Entonces sí, es letter G. Muy bien. Ahora sí,
Yeah.
profe Robert.
My logic was that I have never heard the word jet lags.
You have, sí, no, es como ese, es que no sé ni en español cómo se dice, pero es que te descompensas, porque por la altura, ajá, y el
Yes.
cambio de horario, ajá.
But I've never heard it in plural, jet lags. So that was my logic. So that's why I answered G.
Excellent. Ajá. Exactly, Miss Nayeli. Excellent. Very good. Entonces, this word cannot be used in the plural. Excellent. Jet, noun, a plane that can fly very fast. Y luego tengo jet, verb to fly somewhere in a plane. According to the answer key, is the head word is classified in the same entry under different parts of speech. Pues sí, porque can be noun o can be verb. Luego, that in the dictionary, for example, if you noticed here in the dictionary, didn't have the meaning for as a verb. It was only for noun. Entonces, in that case, you can ask your students to use another dictionary to compare. Because in here, the only use I have is as a verb, okay? Luego, promote, verb, to support something or help something to develop, using actively, heavily, strongly, and vigorously. #51. It says, ahora sí, letter A. Common collocational words are given. Promote, you can use promote or combine with promote actively, promote heavily, promote strongly, and promote vigorously. So is collocation. The possible combinations this word may have. Luego news or news. I've got a wonderful piece of news, not a wonderful news for you. It's pieces of news. So 53 is letter E, common error. No, 52 is... Ah, sí, me brinqué una. Okay, bill noun. An amount that you are owed, proposal for law, paper money. Okay, entonces 52 is all the meanings are given. Ajá, excellent, Miss Nayeli. And the last one, pues is the common mistake. In here is L1 interference. Ajá, porque te tengo noticias, te tengo una noticia. Okay. So in here, we realize that it's very important to observe these symbols. In order to understand, if you want, I can check, or I can, not check, share with you this bank so you can know exactly what they mean about the indications, the abbreviations used in a dictionary so we can be familiar with them, okay? Ahora, the number 12 ya la hicimos, is done?
That was for homework too.
Okay, entonces, match the extract from a grammar reference book on the following page with the information they provide listed A to H. Entonces, we have adjectives and verbs, adjectives for evaluation, comparatives, adverbs, possessive adjectives, and sometimes possessive determiners, adverbs, and the use of adverbs, okay? Entonces I have rude, straight, angry, quiet, slow, serious, and perfect.
I wrote E.
54. E shows the appropriate register. Maybe in this case, bueno, in this case, there are no words that can be used formally or informally. Remember that your register refers to if the kind of language is formal or informal.
Yes, that's true.
Entonces, I would say that gives different examples of the same part of the speech. What is the part of the speech here? What are rude, straight, angry, quiet, slow, serious, and perfect? What kind of words
Adjectives.
are they? Exactly. Exactly. So they are different examples of part of the speech. Entonces in here is B. Ik, if, eth, full, able, all, ish, less, like, e.
Suffixes.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. 13. Adjectives of evaluation: size, age, shape, color, participle noun, etc.
A.
the usual word order, no? It's very difficult for us because in Spanish, we don't use it. We don't have it like that order. No tenemos un gran, maravilloso, un gran, nuevo, redondo y hermoso y primoroso perrito. ¿No? We never speak like that. Comparatives. He looks more younger than he really is. He was younger and more polite. 57 is letter
H.
Exactly, letter H, giving guidance on correct and incorrect forms of the language because of the more younger, no? Would, like, are, and you are sometimes called, words like are and your are sometimes called possessive adjectives and sometimes possessive determiners.
Sí.
Ajá, refers to another part of the book because, a ver, vamos a ver. La sí. ¿Qué es? Possessives. ¿Dónde están de los possessives? Words sometimes called possessive and sometimes possessive determiners. Acá está. Ok, entonces, in here is C. Adverbs, most commonly formed from adjective plus ly, loudly, carefully, badly, quickly, cleverly, softly, nervously. Note, some adverbs and adjectives share the same form, hard, hard. Excellent. Letter D. Excellent, Miss Nayeli. Letter D gives an example that does not follow the rule. O sea, the famous exceptions, no? We have the examples y we have the exception. All right. The adverb is an extremely broad word class. Almost any word that is not easily categorized is a noun, an adjective, adverb, a determiner, a preposition or conjunction is usually categorized as an adverb. You have Downing and Locke, 1992.
Letter F.
Refers to a previously published book. Okay, excellent. So it's important to notice this, and notice this. Okay, excellent. Difficult or tricky?
Tricky.
Ahora fíjense. Ahí estamos en el rush y córrele que ya me quedan 20 minutos y ¡pum! Que me ponen este. Aguas con este. Porque in the other ones are the ones that they are, o sea, the correct ones. But in here my answer is the incorrect one, okay? O sea, the one that is not, es como para cambiar el chip del cerebro. Entonces, cuando vean esta, pónganle un highlighter, por favor, para que no se les olvide que es la que no, porfa. Entonces, dice, for questions 61 to 66, look at the ways of using supplementary material and 3 reasons for each listed A, B, and C. 2 of the reasons are appropriate in each situation. One of the reason is not mark the reason which is not appropriate on your answer sheet. Vamos a escoger la que no. Following a lesson on the topic of families, the teacher asks learners to bring their family photos to class and talk about them in small groups. Is to encourage visualization, provide practice of lexis in context, or personalize the activity. Which one? A ver, primero, ¿cuáles son las que sí?
Sí.
Ajá, esta sí. ¿Y which one?
And
Esta
B.
sí. And B.
Yes.
Ajá. Entonces, ¿cuál es la que voy a marcar?
A.
Exacto. Es más fácil así. Ay, Dios. Ujú. Following a lesson focusing on narrative tenses, the teacher gives learners different stories to read at home. Learners retell the stories in class the next day. Is to give practice in using topic sentences, to give practice in summarizing, or to practice in extensive reading. ¿Cuáles son las que sí?
B.
Las que sí, vi. Ajá, esta sí. ¿Cuál otra? Ay, espérame. Ay,
Letter A.
esta sí. Vamos a subrayar. Esta sí. Letter A. What is topic sentence? Ajá, las que sí son B and C. Ajá. Entonces, in here, esta es la que voy a marcar. Ajá. Sentence topic. Ajá. Ok. Muy bien, Miss. Following a lesson on the topic of houses, their teacher uses a recording of colleagues talking about their favorite rooms in class the next day. To develop gist, consolidate vocabulary, or introduce prepositions. ¿Cuáles son los que sí?
A and B.
Because they are listening for gist, general idea. They are consolidating vocabulary, but they are not introducing prepositions. Okay, entonces es letter C. Following a lesson focusing on clothes, learners do a crossword using the previously taught vocabulary. Review spelling, check understanding of meaning, or review false friends or false cognates.
A and B are correct, but the one that is not is the C.
Exactly. Very good. Entonces, sí. Following a lesson focusing on the topic of different places, the teacher brings in holiday brochures. The learners choose a place they want to visit and say why they liked it. To develop scan reading skills, focus on text structure, or make an activity feel authentic. ¿Cuáles son las que sí? Ajá. Las que sí son. No. A ver. Las que sí es to make an activity feel authentic, porque traigo authentic material. And they are going to develop the scan reading skills. Ajá, porque dice, the teacher brings holiday, the learners choose a place they want to visit and say why they like it. At least they needed to find for specific information. Entonces, la A, yes. Entonces, the incorrect one o la que no is letter B. ¿Por qué? Porque they are not focusing on the way the brochure is structured. Exactamente, no se están en el layout, no se están fijando en el layout, cómo está estructurado el brochure. Ajá, ok. Easy or difficult esta parte a mí me preocupa. O será que a mí es la que más me cuesta trabajo, porque you go with the one. O sea, for you it's difficult to spot the one that is not. Entonces, if you identify the ones that are correct, it's easier. Following a lesson focusing on pronunciation, the teacher uses a game in which learners work with teams and match phonemic symbols with pictures to provide practice of contrastive stress, include interaction in the lesson, or to focus on specific sounds. Uses a game in which learners work in teams and match the phonemic symbols with pictures. ¿Cuáles son las que sí? Exactly. B, porque working teams, ¿no? Y focus on specific sounds because they are matching the symbol with the pictures. Entonces, in here, the answer is letter A. Es la que no. ¿Ok? Excelente. La 18, esa ya la hicimos, ¿no? La 18, no. Tampoco la 19. Ok, vamos a hacerlos. All together. Dice, match activities in the lesson using a song with the main aims listed. For songs, I don't know. We love using songs, but more than filling the gaps, you can ask them to, the first thing we need to do with our students is to train their ear. Entonces, probably you can ask them to listen to the same song outside the classroom several times when they are in the bus or when they are at home and etc. And spot some words and write them in a notebook. Listen and spot. Not a song that they already know. And then the second time they listen to the song, they add more words and they will start discovering new words. And at the end, they can check the lyrics. So to check if they identified correctly the words or not. Or a karaoke. A karaoke is a good exercise for pronunciation, for fluency, reading skills, oral skills, listening skills. So karaoke is a very complete exercise. Because yesterday in the materials, there was an image with the link for a song and I forgot to click on it. Entonces, the activities, we are talking about a song. Focus on similar sounding words to practice intensive listening through dictation, to practice understanding gist, to prepare students for lexical content of the song, to raise interest in the topic, allow students to state personal preferences, to use the song to present new grammar, to use the song to lead for freer discussion, to use the song for controlled oral practice. Entonces we have, before listening, students complete a questionnaire about musical tastes and compare their answers with a partner. Excellent. Letter E. Students use dictionaries to search the meanings of idioms before they listen to the song. Use dictionaries to search meanings of idioms. Exactly. Muy bien, Miss Stephanie. Letter D. Students listen to the complete song and order a set of pictures related to the story the song tells. Students listen to the complete song and order the pictures relating to the story of the song. Exactly, listening for gist. Students listen to identify the rhyming words that are in the end of the lines. Okay. Similar sounding. Students listen to the song line by line and write exactly what they hear.
B.
Intensive. Because they are reading for specific information. Students practice saying, not singing lines of the song, keeping the same rhythm and pace as the singer had. To use the song for controlled oral practice because they have to keep the same rhythm and pace. They cannot invent, okay? So it's really, really controlled. And in groups, students prepare ideas for a video of the song to present to the rest of the class. So what the students are going to do? They prepare the ideas, for a video of the song. So it's letter G. Excellent. Very easy. And the last one. Dice, match teacher's problems with the course book with the suggested solutions. We have use class time for things like presentation, oral practice, and learning strategies, and set as much of the written work or homework as you can. Can any of the topic areas be exploited for ranking or role play activities? You could try reading some of the texts aloud and get other teachers on or L2 speakers to record the dialogues with you. Help students to read more efficiently by identifying topic sentences and using headings. Show your students how to make mind maps after each lesson. Put a large phonemic chart that you can refer to on the classroom wall. Set up situations in which a structure is used naturally so that the form and the meaning is clear for your model sentences. Encourage interest in graded readers and searching topics on the internet. So, my school can't afford the CDs that go with the book. What can I do?
Sí.
D? D
Sí.
or C? Ah, sí. Sí que sí. Sí. Excellent. Sí. To make your own recordings. There are no written summaries of the new lexis that has been presented.
E.
You make your own by using mind maps. There are lots of comprehension exercises, but that isn't helping my students' oral skills. The 76. No. Ah, sí, B. Can any of the topic areas be exploited by ranking or role-playing activities? Very good. Okay, so adapting, not transforming the text so you can have this oral activity. Okay, I can't imagine how I'm going to get through everything in the book by the end of the term, but my head teacher says we must. I can't imagine how I'm going to get through everything in the book by the end of the term, but my head teacher says we must. The class time, things like presentation, oral practice, learning strategies, and set as much as the written homework as you can. Okay, very good. A. Is this, do you remember yesterday flipped classroom? That you also assign activities related to the class for home. Texts in the course books are really long and the students often take a long time to complete them. Text, age, 78. No, 79, ¿verdad? 79.
D?
No, D. Help students to read more efficiently by identifying topic sentences and using headings, because they are really long and the students often take long time to complete them. Okay. Is letter B. And the last one, my students don't like having to learn grammatical terms and rules for the new language. What should I do?
G?
My students don't like set up situations in which the structure is used naturally. Okay, so it's letter G. A ver, espérenme. Aquí yo tengo que 79 es D y 78 es H. A ver, vamos a ver si es A o si es H. My students like having the opportunity of reading longer texts, but the ones in the book are really boring and unnatural. Class time, no, aquí no puede ser la A. Class time for things like presentation, oral practice, no. Entonces, sí, aquí es letter H. Encourage interest in graded readers and searching topics on the internet, because for them, it's not this appropriacy of culture and interests. You can find an extra material. The 77, no la contestamos. I can't imagine how I can imagine is the letter A. Esta sí era la A. Entonces será C, E, B, A, H, D, and G. Do you agree?
Yes.
Ok,
Yes, teacher.
excelente. Ok, muy bien. De todos modos, les voy a subir las respuestas, ok, para que lo chequen. Ok. Entonces, voy a dejar de grabar